Hello and welcome. In today's exciting episode, I will be making a vintage dress from Butterick. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket. So here is the pattern, Butterick 6242 from 1960. And I'm doing the one with the fuller skirt, dress A, view A. And it's got dolman sleeves and it's sort of a three-part dress. The top part is the bodice and sleeves. The middle part is you can either have a cummerbund or I'm not going to do it with the cummerbund. I'm just going to have a midriff plain bit because the cummerbund, I don't know. When I bought this pattern, I just assumed that the cummerbund was separate and you could choose to wear it or not. So that's how I'm going to make it. I might make the cummerbund at some later stage, but at the moment I'm just making the dress, and yeah, with the fuller skirt so that you can put a 1950s petticoat underneath if you wish. So this is the fabric. I've still got a little bit of Christmas fabric left, so this one, and it's beige month, so I figured this is, you know, it's got a beige background and I absolutely love it, and I wanted to make a dress out of it so I can start wearing it. So I cut out all the pieces and here we go. So the front, it's got some gathered bit under the bust, sort of under the left and the right. But first you do the back of the front, and the back has it's got three darts on the sort of elbows, and on the back of the bodice proper, it's also got on each side, it's got one under the shoulder blade going down to the waist bit. So I also measured them, pinned them in, and then machine sewed them, tied these strings off and everything. So they're all done, and I've also done the lining. You'll see later on the lining magically appears, the green bit. So yeah, I did that off camera. And so once the darts were in, then I sewed the bodice to the midriff, which is just a sort of strip. And I did the same on the front. So the front had you're supposed to gather the bits under the bust, but I just put in two pleats instead, two knife pleats, because I think they look neater. And so once they were done, then I pinned the bodice and the midriff together of the front, and then I machine sewed them. And now that the front and the back are all done, then I pinned them together, and of course, so I pinned the shoulders together, and then I pinned the underarms and the sides together. And of course, you have to leave your left side open, because that's where the zip's going to go, the side closure. And also when you're doing lining, obviously it's the opposite, because the lining is effectively inside out once it's there as lining. So once I pinned that, then I carefully machine sewed, and here we go, ta-da, the lining magically appears. And so then I sewed them together at the neckline. You sort of pin them together and then sew them together at the neckline. Obviously, they're both inside out, and I'm sewing them together on the inside. And then you clip the curve. Once you've machine sewn them together, you clip the curve, and then you turn the whole thing in the correct way. And then you just pin it, or if you like machine top sewing, then you can do that. And then the next thing I did was to do the cuffs of the sleeves. They're a 3/4 sleeve. So I just sort of turned both ends in, and then pin them, and then hand sew them. Not really sure why I used the bright green, but I did. And later on you'll see the ribbon that I put with this dress, and they go so well, so it was fortuitous. Okay, so then the next thing to do is to make the skirt, and the skirt is just one huge front piece and one huge back piece, it was incredibly awkward to cut out. It was just so awkward. I think I definitely spent more time cutting this out than anything else. But it's worth it. It's so awkward to cut out, but it's worth it. And yeah, so you sew the front and the back together, and then you pin them together. And once it's pinned together, then of course you turn down the lining and pin that on, and then hand stitch that on. This is a dress that I was trying to get finished for a different sewing vlog. That might be what you see next. Anyway, so I set it aside, and here we go. There we have the dress. It's very pretty, but yeah, and I made another one as well. Of course I did. So the one with the green tie on the right is the one from the pattern, and then this one on the left here, I've taken off the white tie so you can see it's a pullover version of it, so I just sort of altered the pattern. So this is the original pattern, the Butterick 6242, and the one on the left, all it is I don't have that midriff section. So what I did is I just redrafted the bodice, and I sort of added enough length that it's the same as having the midriff section attached to it. And I also increased the side so that it could actually go over your head. And you could put the dress on without, there being a zip in it. And I think I like the one that I redrafted better than the actual original. I mean, in a second I'll put the 1950s petticoat under the one with the zip, and it looks good like that. But yeah, I'm not sure why I use the same fabric on both. I just happen to have this. I love this fabric so much, but yeah, I think I like my one better than the actual original one. But I do love these bows that I made out of the sashes. They're absolutely adorable. But yeah, so I think I prefer the one on the left, the baggy one, because when you sort of cinch it up with the waist, with the sash around the waist, it looks really flattering. See, this looks gorgeous with the petticoat underneath, but you can do that just as easily with the one that I made, the one that I redrafted too. I think what I will do, well, I'll leave them for the moment, but I think what I'll end up doing is pulling apart the original one and using it for parts. So the top with the holly, I'll add a plain long green skirt to that. So that will be one dress. And with the holly skirt, full skirt, I might just add a plain green or a plain beige top to that, sort of plain with puffy sleeves, and that way I'll end up with 3 dresses. I think that's what I'll do, because I love this fabric, and any iteration with this fabric in it I will definitely wear, but I think I'll wear them more if I end up with 3 dresses that are sort of baggy pullover ones that you can just cinch at the waist when you want to. So I think I'll do that. Because, yeah, I absolutely love this fabric. And it's a good pattern. But I think next time I make this dress, well, my version of this dress, I think I like the top, but I just think, like, you can see my bra straps with the way it is now. So I'll make the neckline a little bit closer to the collar, and I'll sort of make the bodice a little bit higher, and also I'll make the skirt higher. So I'll add 3 inches to the top of the skirt. I'll take 3 inches off the top of the bodice. I'll change the neckline. But apart from that, I think I'll leave it as is because I really like it. Oh, and this is what I meant when I said that it was fortuitous that I used the bright green on the inside. This is the bow that I meant. Yeah. They look really good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, I definitely recommend this Butterick pattern. Although, yeah, I like it better as a slouchy dress rather than one that you have to zip yourself into. But yeah, all in all, it's an awesome pattern, and I'm definitely going to do it again, but just going to tweak a few things.